participants, welcome to our Conference Live studio. I'm Bia, and I will be your live studio host. This is our moment to warm up before each of the plenary sessions starts. Each of the 5 days of the conference, we will start with a session like this, where we will be able to meet some interesting guests from around the world, reflect about the previous day, and take a look at what we have on the agenda. We will also take this opportunity to practice our dance moves and get inspired by incredible people. Are you ready? It is now time to introduce our very first guest, our conference expert for the day. She will explain what is going to happen and solve some doubts that we all might have. A warm welcome to today's conference expert, Karin Nolke Grubstrom, the Global Director for Organizational Development.
Thank you. Thank you for having me here in the live studio.
So welcome, Karin, to our studio.
Thank you.
So your role during this conference has been co-leading the program.
That's correct.
This means you have been planning for a long time, and it has been a challenging process, I've heard.
It's been a very challenging but also interesting process. We had to rethink the whole program because of the postponement of the conference, but later on because of the decision of doing a virtual conference instead of an in-person conference. So we really had to challenge ourselves to think in new ways.
So I really, really want to know, what are your expectations for this first day? Are you excited?
Yes, I'm really excited, and I hope all participants are excited and that we'll get a really nice day together. It's the start of the conference, so yeah, I hope it's going to be a great day.
So I want us to look together at today's agenda, and it is, in fact, the first day of the World Scout Conference, of the largest and
the first ever virtual World Scout Conference. That's true.
Can you tell us a little bit of what is going to happen today?
Yeah. So first we have the opening session, and that's of course a moment for us all to come together as one Scout movement, and we'll get to know the chairs of the conference. After some exciting moments in the opening, we'll move to the more formal part of the opening session. We will test the voting system. We'll also appoint the conference officers, who will have different roles during this meeting. We'll listen to the reports, the Triennial report by the chair of the World Scout Committee and of the World Scouts, of the Secretary General.
That sounds really interesting, and I'm really excited for our plenary session to start. And then when I look here at our agenda, I see that there are breakout sessions during the plenary?
Yeah, so after hearing the report, we will also hear the report of the Youth Forum, by the way. It's been an exciting week of young people coming together and discussing different topics that are brought forward to the conference through the Youth Forum report. But after all that, we'll move out into breakouts, and the idea is for all participants to get the chance to discuss the proposals to this conference. So there are breakouts for all the resolutions and the constitutional amendment. After that, we'll meet again here in plenary, and there's some exciting greetings from others, and we'll finish the day together here in plenary.
But I'm looking at the agenda again, and I see a lot of colors. So there are a lot of things happening after, like outside of our plenary session. Can you tell us a little bit more of these colors and what's happening?
It is a colorful agenda, yes. So outside of plenary, so each day we have these 4 hours together. But outside of this, there are also lots of workshops and networking sessions, and we have exhibition spaces you can visit, and you can meet the exhibitors. So there are plenty of opportunity outside of the plenary sessions to come together, to meet, to learn about new topics, and to discuss with other delegates. So, and on top of that, there's also something called the meeting hub, where you can connect individually or in groups with other delegates. Yeah, so plenty of opportunity.
Plenty of opportunities.
And colors.
But I honestly need you to tell me something, and I think we are all a bit curious about this. So we are talking about a virtual event for the entire world. I mean, time zones. How are we planning for the time zones challenge for different time zones?
Yeah, so there's no perfect time zone if you want to bring the whole world together at the same time. But we did a mapping and we picked the time that we thought would work for most NSOs, or member organizations, and that's where we placed the plenary 4-hour sessions. And the activities happening outside the plenary are repeated, so you could either join those sessions before or after plenary. And this is, of course, to cater for all, or as many time zones as possible, I should say.
So I have one last question for you, which is any advice that you want to give to our participants?
Well, I would advise participants to take every opportunity to connect with other delegates, participants of this event, because of course we're not meeting in the halls or by the coffee table, or these meetings that naturally happen in an in-person event. But I would also suggest that you take every opportunity to stand up and get a bit of an stretch your legs and drink some water, because it's going to be a lot of screen time.
And let me add, let's also have fun.
Let's have fun.
Thank you so much again for joining us in the first live studio, and I'll see you in 2 days.
Thank you. Bye.
As I mentioned in the beginning, we want to see some dance moves. A Scout Challenge dance has been launched with the support of Kenyan Scouts. And we still want you to post your attempt on the conference dance by using the hashtag #ScoutDanceChallenge. I must confess that I have been practicing. Let's watch the conference dance together and start practicing our moves. What an amazing energy. That is really the scouting spirit. They really got the moves. To add another fun element to our conference and youth forum experience, we have a gamification challenge integrated into the platform. Look out for the little cup-shaped icon and check the Win Points tab, as there will be new goals to achieve on a daily basis. You can get points by joining sessions, answering trivia questions, connecting with participants, and so on. Completing goals will allow you to earn badges. We have 10 badges and 73 goals waiting for you. The top 3 participants who score the most points will be announced daily before the plenary session in our live studio. It is now time to proceed to our next segment. And you know, some of us have been to a lot of conferences, others are new as delegates or observers. But one thing is sure, we are all new to being at a virtual World Scout conference. I think we are now ready to welcome 2 more guests. My first guest is a scout from Myanmar, and it's his first time attending a World Scout conference. Tiha, welcome to our Conference Live studio. So, I really want to hear about what are your expectations for this first ever virtual World Scout conference?
Correct. So for me, it would not only be the first Project conference, but also my first time ever attending the World Scout conference. I will be honored to meet with thousands of like-minded scouts around the world to shape the standards, policies, and our shared goals of the movement. In addition to expanding my network, knowledge, and finding solutions, I expect to have a fun time.
Thank you so much for your answer. I also want to know what you are looking forward the most.
I look forward to leadership experience and more youth involvement in the decision-making role. That is to show the world that Scouting is all about the youth movement, supporting more youth to join and encouraging NSOs to let their youth join in the decision-making role. Letting more youth participate in these kinds of events will also cheer other youth that Scouting doesn't end in camping, hiking, and doing activities. Therefore, I look forward to empowering youth to explore the movement further and more deeply.
It's really good to hear that those are your expectations. So, Tiha, I know that you are a very young scout. How do you feel joining us today at the World Scout Conference?
So many feelings. I feel more than delighted and excited. It is a privilege and opportunity for me, like a very young person like me, to be chosen as delegate and to be in the decision-making process.
Thank you so much, Tia. It was really a pleasure to have you here in the live studio, in our first live studio at the World Scout Conference. I hope you enjoy the conference as much as we are enjoying already. It is now time for me to welcome to our virtual stage my last guest for today's live studio. I want to welcome Carmen Kindel from Liechtenstein. Welcome, Carmen. It's a pleasure to have you here today with us. So, I have heard that you have been to quite some World Scout conferences. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, so my first conference experience was 2005 on the 37th World Scout Conference in Tunisia. So I attended there the youth forum and I was young delegate. So it's quite a while since then.
That is amazing. I was also told that you haven't aged a bit. One other question for you. Since we have shifted this World Scout Conference for obvious reasons to a virtual setting, how have you adapted to represent your NSO virtually?
So it's very different for sure. Our delegation, they live and study abroad. So we anyway moved our preparations online. One of the most important things for our NSO is to let the voice of the youth be heard. So out of our three-headed delegation, two attended the youth forum last week with our youth advisor, Martin Meyer. And I was very happy to hear that they had an excellent experience and are all well prepared now for the conference. And for this conference, we actually decided to meet with Austria and Luxembourg here at the International Scout Center in Kandersteg, so that we still have a bit of a real conference feeling and can have in-person conversations.
That's really incredible to hear. I'm gonna pass to another question for you, and we really want to hear from your experience. What is your main expectation for this World Scout Conference, for this, the largest, but also the first ever virtual World Scout Conference?
So I would say I have three main expectations. First of all, that there is enough time and space to discuss and exchange ideas on proposals, even in this online setting. That we can network across time zones and connect with all the new friends. And that in spite of the virtual setting of this conference, that each one of us can participate, have some fun and create some nice memories.
Thank you so much for your answer. The only thing that I can assure you is that we have a huge team of staff and volunteer working to trying to meet all your expectations. So last but not least, we have had before in our live studio, or right before you joined us, Tiha, a scout from Myanmar who is joining for the first time a World Scout Conference. So what would be the advice, or what is the best advice that you can give to a new delegate?
So in the beginning, it was very difficult for me to understand how the conference works and how to write on resolutions and so on. For me personally, the youth forum was the perfect space how to get to know other delegates and get prepared for the conference. But my advice for new delegates is don't be too shy to ask questions and be open to meeting other delegates. While getting to know others and asking questions, you get to understand the different backgrounds and perspectives that exist within WOSM. Yeah, so my advice is don't be too shy.
Carmen, what a great advice. Thank you so much. And I'm sure that all our delegates and observers will take your advice in consideration. I would also like to thank you to accepting and being here with us in our first live studio. Time flies, and it's now time to close our first live studio and get ready for the grand opening of the World Scout Conference. Let's make history together. I wish you all a pleasant 42nd World Scout Conference. Thank you for joining me, and see you tomorrow.
Dear friends in Scouting, this event has been prepared to be a positive and engaging experience of education and decision-making.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you are in the world as we join together online. Welcome to the opening ceremony of the 42nd World Scout Conference, which for the first time is happening virtually. Friends, we are creating history. The conference will be running under the theme Bridging the World, which highlights the desire to strengthen the unity of the Scout movement and connect young people globally. Challenges Scouting to continue to build a lasting foundation and inspires participants to take action to build virtual bridges in their communities. Before we start the plenary, I invite delegations to start logging into your e-voting system, and we will listen to some practical announcements.
Dear friends in Scouting, this event has been prepared to be a positive and engaging experience of education and decision-making for the future of World Scouting. We want to make this event meaningful and enjoyable for you. To be as inclusive as possible, we offer all the plenary sessions in our official WOSM languages, English and French. To do so, go to Session Information and click on the Interprefy button. You can then select the language in which you would like to follow for the plenary session. If you have any challenges, please reach out to our dedicated help desk team. On the platform's bottom right corner, you will see the help icon. Here, you can get access and connect with the support team. Delegates are entitled to ask their questions related to the plenary discussions using the live Q&A section. We will do our best to address all your questions either through written responses or directly on stage. You can also use the discussion forum to interact with other participants, speakers, and chairpersons. All participants will be muted during the plenary. If you wish to intervene, raise your hand to talk, and our production team will bring you to the stage. You will need to accept our invitation to join the green room, where our team will test your microphone. And when you're invited to the green room, we also encourage you to turn on your camera to get to know you and best represent the diversity of our movement. Abusive behavior of any kind that leads to harm, prejudice, discrimination, or harassment against any person will not be tolerated during the World Scout Conference. We have safe from harm procedures in place to make sure everyone feels safe and welcomed during this event. If you need any further information, please check scoutconference.org/safefromharm. If you feel unsafe at any moment while participating in the World Scout Youth Forum, please share your concerns by emailing safeforum@scout.org or reach out to a listening ear available at the events. To keep you well informed throughout the World Scout Conference, you can find the agenda and links to the different sessions on the event's participation platform. We will also use the official conference website as a communication channel. This plenary session is being streamed live on YouTube and Facebook and will be made available on the platform afterwards for you to see. Now let's start our plenary session by welcoming our chairpersons. Enjoy your World Scout Conference.
As an additional reminder, you can lower the volume of the broadcast to better hear the interpretation channel. Dear friends in Scouting, it is an honor for me and my colleagues to have been asked by the World Scout Committee to chair this World Scout Conference. My name is Param Palany and I am from Malaysia. I'll be your chairperson of this conference. Allow me to have the pleasure of introducing my vice chairs. We have with us Juna Bernard from Luxembourg and Muhammad Omar Mo from Egypt. We are all scouts and members of our National Scout organization. However, during this conference, we are here not as part of any delegation, but as independent chairs with the task to lead you through this conference. We have also with us Ahmad Alhendawi, the Secretary General of WOSM. While these are unprecedented and challenging times, we are excited and committed to deliver an engaging World Scout Conference online for the first time in the history of Scouting. We call on your commitment, contribution, and participation to ensure that we have the best virtual experience and results during the next 5 days. We will also ask you to be patient with us, as this is the first time that we will be hosting a virtual World Scout Conference. Remember, this is a Scout event arranged by Scouts, for Scouts, and it will be a learning by doing experience. This conference does not have a member organization host, as you know. With the restrictions and the limitation created by the pandemic, we have had to change our plans several times during the planning process. We are broadcasting this conference from a studio in Dubai with a small team from the World Scout Bureau and many more volunteers and staff supporting the program delivery from different parts of the world. We want to assure you that all volunteers and staffs are regularly tested, and we have procedures in place to keep everyone safe. The registration and participation to this event, as you know, is free of charge. However, you are encouraged to support the NSOs that were massively affected by the COVID-19 pandemic by making a donation to the Re-Energizing Scouting Fund on the Scout donation platform. We would like to thank NSOs who have already made donations through this platform. All funds raised will be directed to support affected NSOs in their recovery effort. Our conference, the largest World Scout conference in the history of Scouting, is bridging the world. After being separated for such a long time, we hope to build bridges between us during this event. The structure of the 42nd World Scout Conference agenda is different from the previous conferences due to the virtual format. We'll have daily 4-hour blocks when all participants will come together to engage in key conference moments. The 4-hour period will begin at 12 p.m. GMT every day. A variety of other live sessions, exhibition space, workshops are being offered to delegates outside the daily 4-hour block. You will be able to build your own custom conference agenda based on your needs and time zones to ensure the most meaningful experience. Remember, there are duplicate sessions outside the 4-hour daily period in which all participants will be connected to accommodate time zones. In addition, the virtual spaces for networking and coffee breaks will provide informal means of connecting with other participants to have discussions. The virtual format opens possibilities for more delegates and observers to participate. It also creates challenges. One is the limited time of the plenary. We strongly encourage you to connect with other delegations and discuss the proposals to the conference. Also, outside the plenary hours, let us use the options we have in the best way possible. As part of the opening session, we would like to determine presence for the conference to establish quorum. Our e-voting system will act as the primary way to determine presence. Based on this, I now invite all delegations to log into your e-voting system. Throughout the different voting sessions of the conference, each delegation may practice their right to vote or not to vote. However, at this point in time, we ask that all delegations present to log into your e-voting system so to enable us to determine presence. Let's go through a short presentation as a reminder on how to access the system.
How to access the eVoting system. To access the conference eVoting system, after creating your account, go to vote.scout.org. Note that this is a different URL than the one used for the Youth Forum. We recommend that you bookmark this page for easy access throughout the event. The head of delegation is to log in with a registered email address and use the personalized password set when creating their account. Note that the link provided in the invitation email is expired as soon as the account is activated. If you forgot your password or wish to change it, click on the Forgot Password link below the login button. Remember that the preferred browsers are Chrome, Edge, and Safari. The eVoting system will not function on your mobile, and its user experience will be reduced with any other browser.
I hope with this reminder, the login process to the system is smooth for everyone. We will now proceed with the next item on the opening session, while our voting team confirms presence to the Credentials Committee so that quorum can be determined. Again, if you encounter any issues, you can refer to the help desk via the blue help button on the bottom right-hand corner on the digital participation platform that you are on. I now take this opportunity to welcome members of the World Scout Committee who stewarded the work that you commissioned them during the RAS conference in Azerbaijan. We know that this team has worked tirelessly even more with the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic, and for an additional year because of the postponement of this conference. They have not only ensured that the priorities set at the last conference were met, but most importantly, the well-being of each scout, scout leader, and staff was a priority. May I now ask each member of the World Scout Committee to come on stage, while I, on behalf of the World Scout Conference, express our gratitude to them for leading the movement during the last triennium and through these unprecedented times. Thank you, World Scout Committee. As a reminder, all heads of delegation to log into the e-voting system so quorum can be determined. We will also appoint a team of tellers and a resolution committee through this e-voting system. Let me now tell you who are present in this meeting. We are 2,286 registered participants, delegates, observers, and guests in the event. All of us representing a total of 170 member organizations that have registered for the World Scout Conference, making this the largest World Scout Conference ever. First of all, let me say a special welcome to everyone who is in the World Scout Conference for the first time. We hope you will enjoy the meeting and get the support needed to go around. I would also like to express a special welcome to all guests and partners for joining to show support to Scouting. A warm welcome to everyone. Dear friends, in line with the Triennial Plan Growing Stronger, we are excited to welcome 3 new members to the Scouting family. Since our last conference, the Afghanistan National Scout Organization, the Pathfinder Scouts Vietnam, and the Solomon Islands Scout Association have joined or rejoined the World Organization of Scout Movement. It is with great happiness that we recognize you as members of the Scouting family. Tomorrow, we will take a moment to welcome you during the growth ceremony.
As Scouts, we are used to gather around a campfire for conversations, reflections, and time together. This year, we are not able to meet in person. We are meeting online around a virtual campfire to discuss and make decisions on the future of our movement. Let us all do everything in our power to make sure we still have those important discussions and connect with old and new friends. We are now going to light our global campfire. On the list of things to pack for this conference, you were asked to bring a candle to this session. Let's all light our candles and take a moment to reflect about what you and I can do to make this conference a truly global campfire. Please let your candles burn during the conference as a reminder on how we all play a part in the success of this conference.
And friends, with that, I hereby declare the 42nd World Scout Conference open.
Friends in Scouting, as we are about to start our activities in the conference, we would like to take a moment to remind you of the code of conduct applicable to this World Scout event. It reads, we base our behavior on our shared Scouting values. At our World Scout Conference, we are committed to providing a positive and harassment-free experience for everyone in the conference. We do not tolerate any behavior which discriminates against or devalues any of the participants in any way. Such behavior is not appropriate, not only for the virtual sessions, but also on our social media pages. Conference participants violating these rules may be sanctioned or even expelled from the conference. We have all taken the mandatory Safe from Harm training, so we trust you are aware of the event's code of conduct. As we heard in the practical announcement, which will be repeated every day to remind all of us, if you feel unsafe at any moment while participating in any of the activities of the World Scout Conference, please don't hesitate. Share your concerns by reaching out to the listening ear available at the event or asking for support through the help desk by using the blue help button on the bottom right corner of your screen. In the same line, I would ask that you keep the Scout promise in mind throughout our debates and deliberations, and especially to remain courteous and a good friend to everyone. I will now invite the chairperson of the World Scout Committee, Mr. Craig Turpie, to lead us to reaffirm our Scout promise. Please join in your own language as we renew our Scout promise together.
As a symbol of the unity of the movement and to help bridge the world, we shall now renew our Scout promise. If you are able to do so, please stand and say your Scout promise in your own language. On my honor, I promise that I will do my best to do my duty to God and to the Queen, to help other people, and to keep the Scout law. Thank you.
Thank you, friends. I'm confident now that we are ready to start the activities. Hence, I just would like to remind head of delegations to log in the eVoting system to be ready to. And if you are facing any difficulties of the eVoting system, please go for more information on the chat, and you can ask for the help desk by using the blue button on the right corner of the bottom of your screens. Mr. Chair, I'm confident now that we are ready to start the conference.
Thank you, Mo. Dear friends, since the last conference in Azerbaijan, there are a number of our friends in Scouting who have left us, or as we say in Scouting, gone home. This has been particularly compounded by the COVID-19 pandemic. These are very difficult times, and I'd like to invite us to give a special tribute to the Scouts who have gone home. Let us now observe a minute of silence in memory of these scouts. Thank you all. We offer our sincere sympathies to the families of all these scouts who have gone home. As you know, last week was the week of the Youth Forum, with over 700 young people from all over the world who met live with us today. Let us now hear the report from the forum. I welcome the Youth Forum planning team to give the report.
What a great forum we had. And to put all of this together, we had a wonderful planning team. Here together with us they are, and they will be delivering the Youth Forum report to this World Scout Conference.
The planning team for the World Scout Youth Forum has chosen several key topics: innovation, leadership, and global citizenship. And we truly believe that these are the topics that help youth take action right now to shape their future. The theme, Bridging the World, pointing out the necessity to strengthen unity and to connect young people from different parts of the world and allow them to share their experiences and embrace their cultural differences for creating a peaceful world. Also, through Bridging the World, we would connect the forum to the conference and would allow delegates to put things into action and implement what they have learned at the Youth Forum back into their communities. Now I'm passing to Rafa.
Thank you, Anna. The participants had the opportunity to attend workshops about forum topics, innovation, leadership, and global citizenship. Several training workshops and discussions were conducted on challenges faced by young people, as well as the actions that emerged to respond to them and better face current and future challenges to meet real community needs, thanks to the achievements of the forum. Passing to Sarah.
Thank you, Rafa. Through the personal action plan, we wanted participants to reflect on their personal development, empowerment, and involvement, and their active participation during the event, but also after it finishes. From their biggest wishes to their experience at the forum, their NSO's needs, or the impact scouting has in their lives. We really hope that they go back home inspired and ready to take action at every level. Passing to Ahmed.
Thank you, Sarah. The Youth Declaration summarized what challenges young people are facing nowadays, including the 3 Youth Forum topics: environmental sustainability and COVID-19 recovery. Besides, the participants also expressed their views on the challenges that Scouting is facing nowadays, and their vision in the future in Scouting by addressing their challenges in each strategic priority. And now I'm passing to Noor.
Thank you, Ahmed. Finally, we are so proud of the dedication of our delegates who worked very hard to provide their inputs to the different resolutions. And we can't wait to see them defending their proposals of amendments during the conference and actively participating in shaping the future of our movement. Back to you, Maury.
Thank you so much, Noor. I just want to take this opportunity once again to thank you to this amazing planning team. Dear conference, please join me and Deanna by thanking them with your virtual applause to this wonderful, amazing 14 World Scout Youth Forum planning team. With this, we conclude the report to the conference. Thank you.
I am very excited to welcome all of you to the 14th World Scout Youth Forum.
The first ever virtual World Scout Youth Forum would not be possible without an amazing team of people who work day and night.
Then I am very happy now to declare the 14th World Scout Youth Forum officially open.
I look forward to the outcomes of this meeting and continuing to work hand in hand with all of you to help realize a world where no young person is left behind.
This is the biggest World Scout Youth Forum ever.
And how we all over the world are going to be united together to work on the same ideas.
Make sure you can have you can create a better world in the future with innovation.
We'll formulate impactful solutions and effective work plan to help the scouting world get back on track.
Let us all welcome Chandrajali Rao, the Time Magazine's first ever Kid of the Year.
World Scouts can ensure that diversity and inclusivity is part of what you do, because no one group is going to bring about a change. It needs all of us.
And we cannot, as a Scouts, we cannot, as the world's largest educational youth movement, not to use our voice. For me, influence comes with using the voice.
I think it's incumbent upon us to find ways and means to ensure that every young person on the planet, regardless of their circumstances, has the ability to access quality non-formal education, including especially within Scouting.
Thank you very much. First thing, it's really nice to be here with all of you today.
How they can improve the young people involvement.
To enhance youth participation in decision making, and that is the very fundamental motivation behind this.
So thank you for providing us such an inspirational forum.
And how can we ensure that safe from harm is accepted at all levels?
That we can work jointly to advance youth engagement.
I now have the honor to announce the results of the election for the 2021-2024 mandate of the Youth Advisors to the World Scout Committee. You all deserve a big round of applause.
The Youth Declaration is really a statement that shows the diversity and the unity in the way we think about the future of the movement.
The drafting committee received, by the deadline, 44 draft proposals for the Youth Forum Declaration.
I now declare the vote open.
Cultural differences should be put in consideration
in order to strengthen the Youth Forum Declaration.
I think it is important to show the respect to different culture.
As a worldwide movement, we should lead by example.
We salute the efforts in order to increase youth engagement,
as it strengthens the language of the declaration and thus of youth engagement and involvement.
First of all, as young people, we need to have tools to measure the impact of our service.
The motion is carried. And now we have the Youth Forum Declaration.
Okay, let's get the dance challenge.
A big thank you to the Youth Forum planning team. I encourage you all to take the Youth Forum Declaration into consideration in the discussion and to connect with participants from the Youth Forum in the different sessions outside the plenary to learn more. As stated in WOSM Constitution, the World Conference shall adopt its own rules of procedure. Further to Circular 01/2021 regarding the modality and rules of procedure of the 42nd World Scout Conference and the 14th World Scout Youth Forum, I would like to thank all member organizations who submitted their vote in the referendum. Following the deadline for the submission of ballots on February 2021, the motion to convene the 42nd World Scout Conference and the 14th World Scout Youth Forum virtually has been approved by simple majority. A total of 150 member organizations voted. Circular 03/2021 announced that the rules of procedure were approved in February 2021, and the conference document number 2 contains these rules of procedure, and I therefore ask you to take note of them. Now, following Article 12.4 of WOSM Constitution and Rule 4F of our procedure, presence of at least half of WOSM member organization is required for conference to proceed. As we have 172 member organizations in WOSM, half of that means 86 are required to be present today during the opening session so that the 42nd World Scout Conference can be declared curated. We have asked you to log into the voting system to confirm presence of your member organization. If you haven't done so, please do so now. If you can all be patient with us, I will now ask the Conference Credential Committee to confirm how many member organizations are with us today. Not all of them are with us now in the opening session. I do encourage all of them to take part in our discussion making over the next days. I regretfully also have to note that member organization currently under provisional suspension. We have one member organization currently under provisional suspension. The member organization has not registered as a delegation, so it does not affect the total of 170 registered member organizations for the conference.
Throughout the conference, we will be making decisions through voting. Today, we will vote on appointing the tellers and the resolutions committee of the 42nd World Scout Conference. Before I explain the process, please make sure you are still logged into the eVoting system to be ready to cast your votes. Let's go through a short presentation about casting your vote for a simple majority motion.
Here are the steps of how a delegation can cast their vote for simple motions. Log in to the eVoting system and be ready to cast your vote. When a vote is activated, it will show on the left side of the screen under the active vote header. It will include the progress bar, timer, and voter turnout. As quorum is determined at the beginning of the event, the voter turnout serves as an indication of those delegations that decided to practice their right to vote. Click on the active vote. The details of the selected vote will appear on the right side of your screen with the options to cast your vote. As this is a simple motion, your vote options are in favor, against, or abstain. Select your desired option to cast all your votes. If you wish to split your vote, click on the Split Vote button to enable the function. Then allocate your votes accordingly across the desired vote option. Depending on the size of your browser, the split vote will appear as a drop-down selection or row with easy select options from 0 to 6. You can select or unselect each option by clicking. Carefully review your vote allocation is correct, noting that once you have cast your vote, no further changes can be made. As a measure of caution, the Confirm button will only activate once you have allocated all your votes. Confirm your vote by clicking the Confirm Vote button. A confirmation message that your vote has been submitted will appear. Once the vote is closed, the results will appear. You can see the overall results of the vote, plus how your delegation voted. For the vote type, the results are determined using simple majority. If there are more votes in favor than votes against, the motion is carried. And in case of a tie, with the same number of votes in favor and against, the motion is defeated. Note that abstentions are not counted neither in favor nor against.
We will now give you a minute or so to ensure your presence at the platform. Along the way, if you encounter any issue, you can always refer to the help desk via the blue help button, either on the participation platform or on the eVoting system. I hear from the voting team that the system is ready with any user issues reported being addressed. As we are about to begin our first votes on the system, we wish to confirm to all participants about the integrity and the credibility of World Scouting's eVoting system, which has undergone a third-party credibility assessment, has been tested by volunteers and World Scout Bureau members from all around the world, and the whole process will be supported by a team of tellers, which will be entrusted by the conference to ensure the integrity of the voting. All heads of delegations were also invited the other day to participate in a training on the system and simulation of the voting process to see the system in action. Before the actual votes of this opening session, we are going to conduct a test vote to ensure everyone is logged in and comfortable with how to cast their vote. The test vote we will take now is to vote on if purple is the favorite color of delegations here at the conference. I now invite all heads of delegation to move to their e-voting system to cast the vote for their delegation. For purposes of this test, we request that all delegations do vote. For further votes, delegations can of course decide to exercise their right to vote or not. This vote will now be opened for 10 minutes. I now ask the voting team to confirm if all is in order and we are ready to proceed. I hear from the voting team that the system is ready, so the vote can now be opened. With the vote opened, delegations can proceed to vote. You have 10 minutes. amazing to see that many more delegations came online and were able to vote. We are now waiting for the voting results to appear on our screens, so bear with us. And we see the results here. The motion is carried with 599 votes in favor, 118 votes against, and 51 votes abstained. So I see purple is definitely the favorite color for our delegations present at the World Scout Conference. Thank you for being present at this test vote. Param, I think I hand over to you now. What about the tellers?
Thank you. We'll go on to the tellers now. Let's go on with the appointment of tellers. In accordance to Rule 3D of the same Rules of Procedure, the World Scout Committee recommends 11 tellers to be appointed as shown on your screen. The motion is moved for consideration. The conference appoints the following individuals as tellers of the 42nd World Scout Conference. The vote will be open now for 7 minutes. As a reminder, if you encounter any issue, you can refer to Help Desk via the blue Help button. I have confirmation that the system is ready. The vote will be open for 7 minutes. The vote is now open. Thank you, conference. The vote is now closed. We'll soon see the results on our screens. We have the results. The motion is carried with 696 votes in favor, 9 abstention, and 3 against. Thank you, conference. We now move on to the next voting session. In accordance to rule, we will now continue with the voting session to appoint the Resolutions Committee. I invite all delegations to go back to the e-voting system so to be ready to cast your votes. In accordance to Rule 3E of the Rules of Procedure, Conference Document 2, the World Scout Committee has provisionally appointed the following scouters to serve as a resolution committee as shown on the screen. I will now move the following motion for consideration. The conference appoints the following individuals as members of the Resolution Committee of the 42nd World Scout Conference. The system is ready for voting. It will be open for 7 minutes. You can start voting now. As a reminder, if you encounter any issues, you can refer to the help desk on the bottom right-hand corner, the blue button. Thank you. Vote is open. The voting is closed. Thank you, conference, for casting your votes. We will soon have our results. Please bear with us. We have our results. The motion was carried with 741 votes in favor, 13 abstention, and 2 against. We thank the resolution committee for their support in the decision-making process throughout the conference. Dear delegation, observers, and guests, I have the honor now to invite the Chairperson of the World Scout Committee, Craig Turpie, and our WOSM Secretary General, Ahmad Alhendawi, to deliver their report on the last triennium to the conference.
National Scout Organization leadership, delegates and observers, volunteers, special guests and partners, representatives of the World Scout Foundation, members of the World and Regional Scout Committees, and staff of the World Scout Bureau. Welcome to this, the 42nd World Scout Conference. We are excited to be joining you during this historic virtual event. The conference is the governing body of the World Organization of the Scout Movement and provides an opportunity for NSO leadership from all around the world to shape the future of this, the world's leading educational youth movement. We are proud to be celebrating 101 years since the first World Scout Conference, which took place in London in the UK in 1920. And for the first time ever in the movement's history, we are convening this event virtually, making this conference the largest and most accessible event we have ever hosted.
Indeed, Craig, we want to thank you all the delegates, for your participation and engagement in this incredible milestone event. Today, we are bringing together over 2,300 participants representing 169 countries, including many more who will be tuning in into the live stream of these plenaries. Despite the challenges of bringing us together in person, your participation here today and over the coming days is a show of the unity of our movement. We start the conference by reporting to you, our membership, on an exciting, and I must say, an extraordinary 4 years since we gathered in Baku in Azerbaijan in 2017.
WOSM set out on an ambitious course following the last conference. We aim to accelerate our efforts towards achieving Vision 2023, our strategy for scouting. And we made remarkable progress in becoming the world's leading educational youth movement. Over the triennium, our global movement stepped forward in extraordinary ways to demonstrate our collective strength, unity, resilience, and impact.
And our report shows the progress we have made towards implementing the World Triennial Plan. We will be highlighting the many achievements that have enabled all of us to grow stronger together. The report that was made available to all delegations detailed the key activities and achievements, and also the impact from implementing our Triennial Plan from 2017 to 2020. But we also will be reflecting on the story of how the Scout movement adapted during the COVID-19 pandemic from 2020 until today, as one of the most extraordinary challenges of our times. And of course, the Triennial Report and other key documents related to the conference, including our draft Triennial Plan for the next 3 years, can be found on the event's website. So let's walk you through this exciting journey and what we have achieved together. Over to you, Craig.
Thank you so much, Ahmad. So let's start from Baku. Immediately after the conference, we organized ourselves into structured teams and a highly efficient operational framework, building on lessons learned from previous trienniums, to translate and put the Triennial Plan into action over the course of the next 3 years. At the start of 2020, as we neared the end of the triennium, we achieved 90% from our KPIs, and 10% were partially achieved. We simply made significant progress in every aspect of our work, guided by the Triennial Plan and the strategy for Scouting. In March 2020, it became clear that the COVID-19 pandemic would have a dramatic impact on the world at large. But together with you, we decided to postpone our conference and to fully focus our attention in supporting our membership. We pivoted quickly to mobilize around a 100-day emergency response, followed by a one-year strategic plan to bridge the period until this conference. And during that time, we stepped up our support to NSOs, helping you adapt your operations and youth programs to continue delivering Scouting to young people during the pandemic. The effort since 2017 has been nothing short of remarkable. Throughout the triennium, we engaged 211 volunteers in the operational framework, and we trained more than 200 WOSM consultants. We also delivered over 720 events and engagement opportunities for national Scout organizations, providing direct services and exchange opportunities to our membership. As we all shifted into digital collaboration during the pandemic, we saw amazing ingenuity and remote collaboration happening across the entire movement. In just the last year alone, we saw nearly 16,000 Zoom meetings, totaling over 160,000 hours, and involving more than 215,000 participants taking place. Now, moving from how we coordinated ourselves during the triennium, and to brief you about our focus on governance, one of our primary tasks since the last conference was to ensure the good governance and management of WOSM. The committee made a strong commitment to adopt the best principles and practices for good governance, conducting ourselves to the highest ethical standards with a dedication towards continuous improvement. And we focused on solidifying good governance principles and, importantly, enhanced the engagement of volunteers. We established 5 task forces as a direct response to conference resolutions, helping to govern in several key areas. And you can find more details in the Triennial report about how we implemented the conference resolutions. A number of standing committees working in the areas of finance, audit, constitutions, ethics, and honours and awards, they all made strong progress towards the achievement of their mandates. Our commitment to observe the highest ethical standards in our work included establishing a WOSM Ethics Committee for the first time. This new Ethics Committee reports to the World Scout Committee, and it ensures that any breaches of WOSM's Code of Conducts are rigorously followed up on using a clear and transparent process. We established 3 codes of conduct this triennium: a general one, applicable to all volunteers and staff within WOSM, one related to bidding for world events, and one governing free and fair election processes. Each of these codes is supported by e-learnings and training resources, and the implementation and continuous improvement of the procedures over the last triennium has already shown the significant benefits for a world organization of our size and stature. Now, another area of major focus to all of us is growth, as we all agreed in Baku. Growing the movement and enhancing the quality of our youth programs continues to be a high priority. And this triennium, we made a concerted effort to implement a global growth initiative, enabling our movement to reach a record number of 57 million Scouts and millions more beneficiaries. At the start of the triennium, we identified 30 NSOs with high growth potential, and we worked with them to accelerate opportunities for membership growth. We helped these NSOs and others strengthen their capacity and implement growth strategies, ultimately resulting in 70% of WOSM's growth this triennium. We created a new WOSM service on growth, enabling NSOs to access resources and support to implement their national growth strategies and in order to reach out to more young people. The recently published online membership report highlights a continuous and increasing membership growth of 12% between 2015 and 2019, which is highly encouraging. Youth membership growth was recorded among girls and boys, with a significant growth improvement around the involvement of young female members. It is worth noting that these growth figures are based on official census submissions from NSOs. They reflect WOSM's membership status and trends before the COVID-19 pandemic, which we recognize has had a significant impact on membership retention and growth. But we are also very, very encouraged to see the resilience of our movement and how some NSOs have managed to grow even during the pandemic. And we encourage you to check out the 2021 membership report, now available in a dedicated digital platform, offering rich visuals, insights, and interactive data on WOSM's membership trends. And another aspect of our growth story is equally exciting. It's truly heartwarming to see the addition of 3 new members: Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Solomon Islands, thus expanding our incredible movement to 172 National Scout organizations around the world. Please join us in welcoming Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Solomon Islands to the movement. Their membership was a result of strong partnerships and teamwork. We are inspired to continue building on this work, and we can share with you that we have also made significant progress supporting a number of other countries on their journey towards full WOSM membership. Now, moving from growth to another area of high impact, WOSM continues to deliver some of the largest and most engaging world, regional, and national events for young people. And one of the unforgettable highlights of 2019 was the 24th World Scout Jamboree. This world-class event united over 45,000 young people and volunteers from more than 150 countries to experience one of the world's largest outdoor educational events for youth. And among the many educational learning opportunities at the Jamboree, the Better World Tent and the Global Development Village offered Scouts a space to learn more about Scouting's contribution towards the Sustainable Development Goals and engage with global and regional partners. Over the Triennium, we've also worked to reimagine Jota Joti into the world's largest digital Scout event, promoting friendship and global citizenship education. A new educational program and digital platform of activities connected an amazing 5 million young people from over 130 countries in 2020. Building on this success, WOSM organized the first ever special edition of Joti to respond to young people around the world experiencing COVID-19 lockdowns. The event served as a space for young people and Scouts to connect, learn, and build friendships from home during what have been challenging times. Our WOSM regions continued their efforts to connect our movement and to provide support to NSOs. 6 regional conferences and a large number of youth events also took place this triennium, bringing together NSO leadership and young people to focus on the growth of Scouting and to make key decisions at a regional level. Over the past year during the pandemic, the delivery of world and regional events has certainly become more challenging. And so we will be taking time during this conference to discuss ideas and resolutions to draw lessons from this experience and ensure future events continue to connect young people and support the development of NSOs. Now, moving on, I mentioned briefly our work on diversity and inclusion, and connected to this is our movement's commitment to providing an environment that is safe from harm for young people and volunteers involved at all levels in Scouting. Across the movement, we promote strict safe from harm standards and policies for all member organizations to comply with, ensuring that we prevent abuse from happening
and that we hold ourselves to the highest possible standards for safeguarding children and youth. We significantly increased support in this area following the adoption of the World Safe from Harm policy. And to date, we have trained more than 50 Safe from Harm consultants and delivered services and support to over 100 NSOs. In this triennium, we also developed a range of Safe from Harm resources, e-learning courses and trainings for young people and adults in Scouting, including a self-assessment tool to support NSOs' compliance with our policies. And in 2021, we dedicated a full week to Safe from Harm communications and campaigns to highlight how we can all make Scouting safer. And we signed a new partnership agreement to work in collaboration with the UN Special Representative of the Secretary-General on violence against children. Given the critical importance of this area, our movement should make Safe from Harm a key priority for the next triennium. You will see this reflected in the draft World Triennial Plan, as well as through a dedicated draft resolution and a proposal for constitutional amendment tabled during this conference. So, let me now turn over to Ahmad for more updates on the ways that we are supporting our members and engaging young people across the movement. Over to you, Ahmad.
Thank you, Craig. Another major area of our report is how we collectively responded to the COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic has been tough on all of us. However, it has been incredibly inspiring to witness how Scout leaders across our movement live by the motto, be prepared, and step forward to lead community response and recovery efforts. Around the world, NSOs also demonstrated incredible leadership and innovation. By adopting your Scouting program, you were able to continue to engage young people safely in activities at home and online. WOSM showed its resilience and agility by quickly implementing a 100-day emergency response to address the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic in our movement. We coordinated the World Scout Academy, delivering learning opportunities during an 8-week program to more than 4,000 participants, including NSO leadership and Scout leaders. A number of other world and regional events also helped in connecting our movement during this challenging time. We developed new resources to support Scouting at home activities and enable a gradual return to an in-person Scouting. We promoted stories of youth-led community service and COVID-19 responses from across the movement. And we also leveraged the Scout donation platform to support the work of our NSOs. We also established a special re-energizing Scouting fund in collaboration with the World Scout Foundation, directing over $1.2 million to promote membership recovery, retention, and growth among our membership, especially NSOs who have been deeply impacted by the COVID-19 pandemic. We were also able to leverage the funding from the World Health Organization to support National Scout Organization. One of our signature initiatives this triennium was also to reimagine how we deliver services and support to you, our membership. Our vision was to create a fully integrated ecosystem for National Scout organizations to access the support, information, the resources they need to deliver quality Scouting to more young people. That is why we built WOSM Services, a custom approach launched in 2018 to serve our membership and streamline support to all member organizations. Since 2018, we have delivered more than 500 services across 13 support areas. 74% of WOSM membership have requested and received services from a team of over 200 trained WOSM consultants in all regions. The results and ratings of the service delivery have been truly remarkable. Our evaluations show that 9 out of 10 NSOs would recommend the services they receive to another member. And you also rated the knowledge, quality, and professionalism of service delivery by WOSM consultant at an average of 4.5 out of 5. So I want to pause here and give a special thanks and shout out to all of those incredible volunteers and consultants who dedicated countless hours and energy, both in person and online, to support you. In addition to the core education products that Craig just mentioned, more than 700 resources, toolkits, e-learning courses, and other publications, many of which were developed during this past triennium, are now freely available to all National Scout organizations through the service platform. Another key initiative this triennium was to accelerate our digital transformation efforts. Even before the pandemic, making news, data, and membership information more accessible and transparent for the movement. That is why WOSM launched a revamped members portal, including the World Scouting Directory and NSO data portal. These tools make it easier for member organizations to access the key information they need to make decisions, report on census figures, and track membership trends over the years. All of these information are now available in one place. Hundreds of capacity strengthening workshops, trainings, and field visits also took place globally and regionally. And we passed a major milestone as a movement with more than 2/3 of NSOs now assessed through the GSAT, WOSM's quality assessment tool. Both online and offline, we simply made delivering quality services and support to our membership our highest priority. And while we have been delivering on a number of priorities, we maintained our focus on our core educational work. We redesigned several core scouting products to set standards, norms, and policies to keep scouting relevant and attractive to young people and other volunteers. We released updated version of the essential characteristics of scouting, one of scouting's most fundamental educational resources. And we refreshed the guide to the youth program in scouting, the GPS, to assist you, our membership, in the development and renewal of your national youth programs. We also released the Scoutship, marking a significant upgrade in how we support adults in scouting. The Scoutship brings all of our volunteer resources together in one accessible and easy-to-navigate website. And we also, with the celebration of the Wood Badge Centenary, we collaboratively released the updated Wood Badge framework. Another key focus for us beyond service delivery was rethinking the way we coordinate and implement our educational initiatives. Through the Better Word framework, we restructured our educational initiatives to complement the youth program of National Scout organizations. We implemented the past conference resolution when you asked us to align our programs with the Sustainable Development Goals and the principles for education for sustainable development. Our flagship initiative, Messengers of Peace, celebrated this year's 10th anniversary. Looking back over the past decade, Messenger of Peace has involved nearly all National Scout organizations and has inspired more than 16 million projects and actions, totaling to an incredible 2.3 billion hours of community service towards peace and sustainable development. And through the Messenger of Peace initiative and other donors' advice funding, we provided more than $4.5 million for 214 projects in 90 National Scout organizations. Building on the success of the Messenger of Peace initiative, in 2018, we launched Scouts for SDGs to mobilize 57 million young people to make the world's largest coordinated youth contribution towards the Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. We built a digital hub featuring stories and community service projects to inspire young people into action for the SDGs. And we developed a range of resources to support NSOs to integrate education for sustainable development into their national scouting program. In addition to our work around peace building, in 2020, World Scouting launched the Earth Tribe as an updated educational initiative focused on the environment. The Earth Tribe, which replaces the former World Scout Environment Program, enables young people to develop the skills and competencies to become environmental leaders and tackle climate change. As a movement open to all, Scouting has an important role to play in creating a more gender-equal world. This triennium, we made commitment to gender equality by partnering with UN Women and encouraging young people to take the He for She pledge. We developed a range of new diversity and inclusion resources and ran workshops and dialogues in gender equality during Scouting events. All of these efforts put a spotlight on the importance of gender equality and gave rise to an increased participation of women and girls in many Scouting activities. We also progress our work around humanitarian action, recognizing the active role young people can play in responding to humanitarian crises around the world. We advanced the UN Global Compact on young people in humanitarian action and partner with UNHCR in educational activities at Jamboree events to share the stories and experiences of refugees. We also engage refugees and internally displaced persons through Scouting Youth Program and recognize countries like Kenya and Turkey for opening their programs for refugees. These educational initiatives and activities are all parts of our continued commitment towards mobilizing our movement in service of building a better tomorrow. Our vision is placing emphasis on increasing our impact and influence in the world to create a positive change. This triennium, we widened our impact and increased the global recognition of Scouting as the world's leading educational youth movement. We achieved this through a variety of ways by enhancing our communications and expanding our network of partners. WOSM led the way in a new global youth mobilization in collaboration with our partners in the Big Six youth organizations and the World Health Organization. Our objective is to tackle the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on young people and support them to build back better. The mobilization brought together 1,600 young people together during a global youth summit in April this year, and is investing over $5 million to scale up youth-led solution to the COVID-19 pandemic. This effort was just one of many ways we strengthened our relationship with the Big Six youth organizations. We shared best practices and learnings while using our collective voice to call for a more investment in non-formal education and support our combined membership of over 250 million young people worldwide. We also draw the world's attention to young people's rise to non-formal education. Yeah, you heard that correctly. The right to non-formal education. That is why we have convened the first ever World Non-Formal Education Forum in Brazil, bringing together over 70 international and regional organizations and enabling our national Scout organizations to engage with experts and agencies working in this field. One of the key outcomes of the forum was the Rio Declaration on Non-Formal Education, which will continue to be a key advocacy platform to advance the non-formal education agenda around the world. As a movement, we are stronger when we work together. We continue to broaden our partnerships and collaboration with other organizations, turning some of the other ways in which we exerted the influence of our movement by creating a positive impact. And there are multiple ways how our movement can show that our Vision 2023 can indeed exert our influence to create a positive world and create more opportunities for young people. We established a global network of 12 trained youth representatives to be ambassadors of our movement and advance WOSM advocacy efforts through participation in global processes. We also welcomed Barry Grylls, our chief ambassador for the Scouting, who has helped boost the Scouting public image through his participation in the World Scout Jamboree, Jota Joti, and other online campaigns. He has inspired more young people and volunteers to get involved in Scouting. And also, we launched the Global Communication Network, helping to engage 120 NSO representatives in capacity building workshops and digital campaigns. The success of this network is also inspiring the establishment of other global networks to facilitate a peer-to-peer learning among NSOs, including in the areas of growth, safe from harm, and partnerships and resource mobilization. All of these efforts and more were highlighted and 3 annual reports and a wide range of other key publications produced this triennium, including 2 in-depth studies measuring Scouting life-changing impact on young people. It's truly incredible to see just how far we have come this triennium and how much engagement we have with others to make it all come to life. The final section of our report is to provide you with some management updates. This triennium saw an overhaul of the WOSM internal operations, driven by the World Scout Committee's commitment to strategic governance and the World Scout Bureau's revitalization agenda. The investment in digital transformation, which we have made over the years, served us well during this pandemic, allowing us to pivot and adapt to the changing situation without major disruption in our operations. We rewired the World Scout Bureau, adopting thematic teams across regions, pioneered a more modern and agile project management approach, working together with volunteers and putting a clear focus on serving the needs of National Scout organizations. We also made commitment to diversity and inclusion across our global workforce. We moved to a more representative senior management team and significantly increased the number of women in leadership positions. We also provided more opportunities for young people to join the World Scout Bureau. And I'm happy to report that we achieved full gender parity at the World Scout Bureau staff. The average age of our staff is 40, and we have welcomed and provided professional development opportunities to close to 25 interns since Baku. Looking at our financial management, for the first time, we developed a fully integrated approach to our budgeting process through a 3-year master operation plan. This plan made sure that we better align priorities across our movement and across all regional offices and made more efficient use of our financial resources. Despite the financial challenges caused by the pandemic, we took the necessary austerity measures to balance our budgets throughout the triennium. And as part of a prudent financial management, we made the necessary budget cuts to weather the impact of the pandemic. Craig, it has been a challenging but exciting journey. We achieved a lot and learned a great deal too.
Ahmad, in looking back at all that we've achieved together this past extended triennium and during these uncertain times, I am certainly more confident than ever about the future of this movement. Our strategy for Scouting, our Vision 2023, provided us with a guiding star. This vision has enabled us to stay focused on the future and to drive towards collective long-term impact.
Indeed, Craig, the unity of the Scout movement is one of our greatest strengths. Our commitment was to listen and support our members, both big and small, to dream big and grow stronger together.
And let's not forget all the fun and friendship that we've had along the way. This has been a truly extraordinary triennium, full of major milestones and celebrations, including the 100th anniversaries of the Rover Age section, the Wood Badge, the World Scout Jamboree, the World Scout Conference, and the World Scout Bureau.
And we wish to thank all of the dedicated WOSM volunteers and staff who devoted their time, talent, and energy to advance our movement forward. You are truly inspiring, and we wouldn't have achieved all that we did without your efforts and dedication.
And to all our regional colleagues and committee members, your commitment to advance the work of our regions and ultimately enable even more young people to access better quality scouting is so central to the work that we do each and every day.
We also wish to thank and acknowledge the staff and board of the World Scout Foundation for their collaboration and their support to WOSM. Their work has enabled us to finance and support lots of projects at the global, regional, and national level. I also want to acknowledge the over 20 years of service and dedication of John Gagan, the director of the World Scout Foundation, who recently announced his retirement. John's contribution over the years have been instrumental in unlocking new resources to strengthen our movement.
And to our other collaborators and partners, including Kandersteg International Scout Centre and organisations with consultative status. Your commitment and support is an essential part of WOSM's success and our ability to create positive change in communities all around the world. And finally, we want to give a special thank you to our collaboration with the World Association of Girl Guides and Girl Scouts. Through ongoing dialogue, shared learnings, and joint statements, we strengthened the relationship between WOSM and WAGS this triennium and for the future.
So Craig, through it all, we made great strides in delivering on Vision 2023 and came together as a strong and united global movement. We can confidently report to you that our unity is stronger, our impact is evident, our influence is making a difference, and our growth is a reminder that the world needs more Scouts.
And as we transition to this last triennium of Vision 2023, let us build on this momentum to create the much-needed positive change that this world so urgently needs. Thank you.
Thank you.
This extended triennium, the Scout movement stepped forward to demonstrate our collective strength, unity, resilience, and impact. We made a commitment to grow our movement so we can enable even more young people to experience the transformative power of Scouting. Thanks to a major global growth initiative, our movement grew to a record number of 57 million Scouts and millions more beneficiaries worldwide. WOSM's priority continues to be supporting national Scout organizations to deliver quality Scouting to more young people. We designed a cutting-edge support system to our membership called WOSM Services. Through WOSM Services, we delivered over 500 services across 13 support areas. We also redesigned several core Scouting products to set the standards, norms, and policies to keep Scouting relevant and attractive to young people and adult volunteers. And we completed over 700 resources, e-learning courses, and action kits on the WOSM Services Library, accessible to NSOs and Scout leaders. This triennium, WOSM went digital. We revamped the Members Portal, World Scouting Directory, and NSO Data Portal. Now, it is easier than ever for NSOs to access data and information and enjoy the full services and support as a member of our worldwide movement. Not only that, we also delivered over 720 events and engagement opportunities with NSOs, providing direct services and exchange opportunities to our members. As a world organization, we introduce measures to strengthen good governance and ethical standards across our work, establishing a WOSM's Ethics Committee for the first time, and updating WOSM's Code of Conduct. We also put the safety of children and youth as a top priority, increasing implementation of the World's Safe from Harm policy and training more than 50 Safe from Harm consultants to support over 100 NSOs. The impact of World Scouting was felt in so many ways, including by delivering high-quality world events for young people. This triennium saw an unforgettable 24th World Scout Jamboree in North America, uniting over 45,000 young people and volunteers from more than 150 countries in one of the world's largest outdoor educational events for youth. We also reimagined Jota Jati with a new educational program and digital platform connecting 5 million young people last year from over 130 countries. And we drew the world's attention to young people's right to non-formal education. This is why we convened the first ever World Non-Formal Education Forum in Brazil, bringing together over 70 international and regional organizations and enabling our NSOs to engage with experts and agencies working on non-formal education. Our flagship educational initiative, Messengers of Peace, celebrated 10 years of impact and has inspired more than 16 million actions and 2.3 billion hours of community service towards peace and sustainable development. We also launched Scouts for SDGs to mobilize our movement in making the world's largest coordinated youth contribution towards the Sustainable Development Goals. And we updated our educational program on the environment by introducing the Earth Tribe as a new initiative to engage young people in becoming environmental leaders for today and tomorrow. Our focus on diversity and inclusion as one of our strategic priorities was manifested through a number of initiatives, including our He for She partnership and resources on gender equality. We also saw Scouts around the world respond to humanitarian crises, providing essential support to vulnerable groups, including by pioneering scouting activities for refugees. With COVID-19 posing an unprecedented challenge to the world, Scouting's Be Prepared education clearly showed how our movement can pivot. We quickly mobilized and saw Scouts stepping up to the challenge. Scouting from Home and a special edition of Jyoti were the first global youth events at a large scale to enable young people to connect from their home. We brought hope and connectivity during a time of uncertainty and isolation. We also introduced the World Scout Academy, offering learning opportunities to thousands of participants and enabling Scout leaders to connect and reflect on the new normal. And for NSOs, we leveraged the Scout donation platform for emergency support and established a new re-energizing Scouting Fund, together with the World Scout Foundation, directing funding towards membership recovery, retention, and growth across the movement. As the world's leading educational youth movement, we facilitated a new global youth mobilization with the Big Six youth organizations and World Health Organization to address the negative impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on young people. We also strengthened our collaboration with key partners and significantly enhanced our communications to tell the world about the impact of Scouting. Our activities included welcoming Bear Grylls as our new Chief Ambassador of World Scouting to inspire more young people to join and volunteer through Scouting. And it is always special when we welcome new members to our world movement. We welcomed Vietnam, Afghanistan, and Solomon Islands as new members, expanding our movement to 172 NSOs around the world. Lastly, we celebrated some major milestones and celebrations, including the 100th anniversaries of the Rover Age Section, Wood Badge, World Scout Jamboree, World Scout Conference, and World Scout Bureau. This extended triennium, the Scout movement was all about growing stronger together, driving towards collective long-term impact and delivering on Vision 2023 to be the world's leading educational youth movement. To see all the impact and achievements from the past triennium, read the Triennial Report online at scout.org/Triennial Report.
Thank you, Greg and Ahmad, for that report. It is impressive to hear and see all the work we have been doing to contribute to the growth and development of our movement. The COVID-19 pandemic has had an unprecedented impact on the world, on Scouting and young people. To recognize the extraordinary efforts by Scouts around the world, I will now, with my colleagues, read out our statement to put on record this conference appreciation to all our member organizations. It was also shared with all participants as part of the courtesy resolution last week, and you see it on the screen as well now.
The 42nd World Scout Conference records its sincere appreciation for the efforts of its member organizations in continuing to serve their local communities during the unprecedented challenge of the global COVID-19 pandemic, responding creatively and at pace to ensure their youth programs and training for adults in Scouting are adapted to new realities.
And in taking the lead in offering young people a crucial non-formal education experiences and safe environment, helping young people connect with each other through innovative activities and supporting them through times of physical isolation and great uncertainty. So on behalf of the 42nd World Scout Conference, we say thank you to all the Scouts around the world. Back to you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Ahmad. In a few minutes, we'll be wrapping up the opening session of this conference and moving to the breakout sessions. The sessions are focusing on draft resolutions and constitutional amendments, and will give you the opportunity to learn more about the proposals and discuss them with other delegations. There are 2 rounds of institutional breakouts. During each round, a 45-minute session, you will have the opportunity to join World Scout Committee members, youth advisors, and NSO representatives to discuss the following resolutions and constitutional amendment topics. Registration fee for 2021 and beyond. Strengthening WOSM's Safe from Harm approach. Youth engagement in scouting and youth advisors. Evolving Youth Forum and World Scout Conference. Environment impact and sustainability. Scout events in modern world, and leadership in peace. We encourage you to pick different topics in each round to have the opportunity to discuss 2 resolutions. You will find the links to the breakout room on the agenda on this digital platform. Don't forget to come back to the main session to close the plenary together. Let me remind you also that according to the rules of procedure, the deadline for making amendments to the constitutional amendments and draft resolution 2021B on the WOSM registration fee system is 24 hours before the first voting session of the constitutional amendments. This means at 3 p.m. GMT or during the break after the first breakout session. I will now adjourn the meeting for breakouts. We'll meet again in the plenary after the breakout session to close the day together. Thank you, and have a productive breakout session.